Hey guys, we're going to be taking a look at RVN today, looking at some possible targets for 2020 and the end of 2020 as well. So getting right into it, we're actually at 0.022 right now and up almost 1% for the day. Having a look at our ranking, we're actually at rank number 39 still. So basically, let's see if this year will bring us a little bit higher in the rankings. If we can get some more money into RVN, that would be good for some upside as well. Maybe RVN will come out with some new things that will possibly take us to the upside. Right now, it does look like that we could obviously, this is a stable coin, True USD. It does look like that we could surpass that if we do get some more money in here. The market cap isn't too far away, just like Quantum as well. So let's look at what happens in 2020. I am interested in what will happen with RVN, and we'll be watching it very closely. So getting right into charts, we're going to be looking at RVN BTC, and we're also going to be looking at RVN USD. So if you're in for that, stick around to the end of the video. But getting into the BTC pairing, let's go full screen here. We can actually start off with the 1 hour time frame. I don't want to concentrate too much on the lower time frames, but we will have a look at them obviously. Let's get all our moving averages up on here. We'll get all our important moving averages up, and then leave the rest there. So having a look at the 1 hour time frame, we actually have some hidden bullish divergence here from this peak to this peak. Hidden bullish divergence does typically take us to the upside, but it does mean that sometimes it doesn't actually play out. Hidden bullish divergence doesn't always play out. Keep that in mind. Just any hidden divergence does not always play out. And that is probably what we're seeing right now, because we confirmed it on this candle right here, and we're actually moving down still. So something to keep in mind. So we're actually below all the moving averages on the 1 hour time frame as well. Looking at the 1 hour MACD, we have actually turned around and the momentum has come to the downside. These Stokes are also turning around. So let's concentrate on the high time frames, because we want to see in a few days from now on, or in a few weeks from now, we don't want to see the targets for tomorrow, or you know what I mean, like we'll also be looking at those, but I do want to concentrate on the higher ones, because I feel like a lot of people do get lost in these lower time frames a lot. So what we can notice right off the bat here is if we draw out obviously a support line, right where this is, we have very, very strong support. That was resistance in this area that has actually flipped as support here. So we're most likely going to get a bounce here. This is actually a pivot area. It's not even a just a support area. It's a very, very strong pivot area that we could probably bounce up from. But we're going to look at confluence areas for bearish and bullish things to see if we're going to bounce or not. The next area that we could come down to would be this area. This is on a 4 hour time frame. Keep that in mind. The 299, if we do lose that support. If we don't lose that support and we have a very nice bounce off the pivot area, we're going to be coming into this resistance right here, the 321. It also lines up perfectly with the 200 exponential moving average, which is actually the purple right here. So something to keep in mind, guys. But we do see that the moving averages are all basically bunched together here, which is pretty bad. You don't see this unless there's very, very low volume, but there's been some very, very nice moves in RVN. Just look at this, like 10% move right here. You know, like even down here, 6% move. If we count it from the top, like that's a 10% move, almost even more than that. From down here, when we hit the support, basically a 10% move. So I'm telling you guys, like these support areas that we draw, and I'm showing you this indicator because it's just easier. When you go back here, there's a lot of confluence in these areas, right? So you could be trading this if you have RVN. Like if you don't want to be just sitting through and actually learn to trade, then you see that there's a lot of support in these areas. Can you see how much support in these areas there are? So it's a very, very high area of confluence, and there is a very, very high possibility that it will actually bounce from here. So what happened here, we basically approached this area, the same deal as this week, but we approached these areas and we actually had a very, very nice bounce. So right here and also right here. And what you can do is what I basically tell all my students in the group as well is put some basically orders just a little bit above here and a little bit below here, and get a nice average right in the middle of this support area and try to play a bounce from this area to the upside. Now if you did do that, you wouldn't get too many orders filled. You would get a few filled depending on how much your account size is, and you would have got a few filled, and let's say from the bottom here you would have been able to ride that for about 10%, even more than that. Let's see, almost 11%, I'd say. Yeah, so 11.06%. So that's a very, very nice move, right? You would have been able to profit very, very nicely off that. Now, what I can notice from here, why we have jumped down a little bit, we had this very, very nice run up, correct? As you can see, we had this very, very nice run up as we are looking at right now, but looking at the price action from this to this, I do believe we had some hidden bearish divergence, or bearish divergence actually here from this peak to this peak. You would also be able to see it on the RSI as well. We did also have a bearish MACD cross, which helped us come down. So looking at the 12-hour time frame right now, the 12-hour time frame is going to be very telling to us. What we can see is we actually went right above the 377 EMA, which is the pink, and we crashed straight down. So we hit this resistance. Now what can you see? We hit this resistance. We have this resistance right here. So we made this top right here, and we also made this top right here. Last time we got rejected right at the 377 EMA, but we did create some nice resistance here, and there's a lot of confluence, as you can see, a lot of confluence in this area, in this little pink box right here. So that was a very, very obvious sell for you guys, or take profit zone for you guys. Looking at the RSI, I would assume that we will be able to see something very telling here. So what can you see on this price action right here? You see the RSI is up here very, 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 very nicely, and actually has a lot of momentum. Then you come up to here, and we do have some nice momentum, right? But then when we actually get to this area, we're losing momentum on the RSI, and we do end up crashing back down. Now what we can also see is we've created this nice trend line resistance on the RSI, which we got rejected from right here. So even if we do come back to the upside here, we're going to be watching for this to either get rejected, or yeah, probably to get rejected, or if it does break, then we're going to be seeing more upside on the price action. So it was a very nice push, but it basically gave back all its gains. It was a very, very heavy sell. What I can also see, guys, let me check this. Yeah, what we can also see here is that we actually have bearish divergence from this peak to this peak. There is some heavy bearish divergence on the 12-hour time frame, which is a very, very bearish sign. I do want you guys to keep this in mind, because following what we did here, basically, we could give back even more gains. Definitely could give back more gains. We're actually hitting a critical support area, like we talked about. This is a very critical support area. But if this bearish divergence plays out, which it actually confirmed on this last candle closure, so it confirmed on this candle right here, and we are on the next candle currently, and we have 3 hours and 40 minutes to go. So if we don't hold this support, we're most likely going to come back to this next support. If we lose the next support that we have, this blue, this basically white line that I'll put as a different color for you guys, we're going to be coming to this red line. And if it does get very bad, we're going to come to the S2 as well. So something to keep in mind, guys. We're basically going to put these up. 299 is somewhere you want to be looking for if that resistance, or if that support does break, and also 292. That is a very, very important thing. 12-hour divergence does play out pretty massively usually. So let's actually look for the last 12-hour divergence. The last 12-hour divergence would have been right here, actually. Yeah, spot on, right here. So from this peak to this peak, we had some bearish divergence. You would also be able to see it on the RSI. And what happened here? So let's see, it confirmed on this candle right here. Let's see how much we went down. So we actually went down from this divergence. Let's count it from the top. We went down 10.30%, guys. So something to keep in mind. Definitely either be taking some profits, or just basically make sure that you did take profits on that pump here. So very, 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 very critical area to take some profit there. We do have some more, obviously, 12-hour divergence, so something to keep in mind. The 1-day time frame, basically the same thing. We do have some divergence forming, some bearish divergence forming even on here, but nothing as of yet. So nothing confirmed yet either. So if it does confirm, I'll make a video and we'll update you guys on that. But as you can see, we're actually below the 21 exponential moving average, which is the orange right here. We did lose that, which is very bad. So yeah, definitely look at this area. If we do go to the upside, which we're not going to just yet, we've also lost the 10 simple moving average, which is the red, but watch for that area. Now, having a quick look at, I don't want this to get too long, because I want to make this for you guys so it's just straightforward and you guys understand what we're looking at, and I don't want to overload you guys with information. So we're going to be looking at this quickly and then moving on. I don't want to make it too confusing for you guys. So let's go on here because it's got more price action history, and what we do see is we're actually still holding above the 10 simple moving average, which is a red. We're below the 21 exponential moving average, and this is something that I always tell my basically people in my group. If you guys want to join my group, I'm giving a trial out to the next 5 people that do actually message me on Discord. So my Discord is down below in the description, so if you guys want to join there, go ahead and add me on there. But this is what we talk about basically, the 21 exponential moving average, which is the orange right here. If you did miss this basically support buy, this was a perfect support buy, guys. Look at how many touches we have here, basically triple bottomed here or double bottomed here and went to the upside. But if you have a look at this, if you missed this, let's say 70% move, which was a very nice percent move, and if you did basically let it go to the upside here, you could have bought the break off the 21 exponential moving average, and even if you missed that 30%, you would have still got 41% or almost 42% off that, as you can see. So if you broke this orange 21 exponential moving average, you would have been able to buy the break of that and take it to the upside. Very nice move, very strong move right here, 41%. Looking at this, you could have basically done the same thing here. You would have wrote it up for let's say 28%. So very nice. Keep that 21 exponential moving average in mind. What we can also see is this lines up with the 89 EMA, which is the green or the light blue, sorry. So that is also a very high area of confluence. The daily has got a bullish MACD cross, which is very good. Let's look at the 2-day. Let's see if that does have a bullish cross as well. We've had a bullish cross for a while on that. Very nice. So yeah, 3 days looking good as well. Let's have a quick look at the weekly. The weekly is in a downtrend. This has been in a downtrend for a very long time, obviously. But let's see if we see any movements up. We were actually crossing up, which was a pretty good sign that we're going to maybe go to the upside, but we are crossing back down on the Stokes. The RSI is oversold and in the almost oversold, but it is in the bearish control territory. So something to keep in mind, guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment down below or add me on Discord and basically join our group. It's a very low price for what you're getting, and we do basically give a lot of alt calls and leverage trading calls as well. So if you're not following the channel, we basically do call a lot of these on the channel as well. If you talk to some of the people even in the comment section down below, you'll see that we have been calling a lot of alts and we've been calling them spot on. There's been some great gains even on the channel as well, so thank you guys so much for the support. As I said, we've reached 2,000 subscribers, which is absolutely huge, so thank you guys for that. And yeah, so I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you guys in the next video.